Welcome to the Unlock Your Genius Zone show. Today I have a very special guest with me. Her name is Michelle Morris. And Michelle is a certified life coach. She's a business owner for over 21 years. Truly impressive. She is a wife, a mom. She has 5 kids. And Michelle and I have been working together for the last, what has it been, like 8 weeks or so? Yeah, and Michelle
About
has
that.
just
Yep.
been through such a journey of getting to where she is now with helping people get to the root of their people pleasing habits and tendencies. So, that is what we'll be talking a lot about today, how it impacts you as a business owner, as a female entrepreneur. And Michelle, it is just such a delight to have you on the show. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm so honored to be here.
Thank
Honestly, I watch your podcast all
I'm
the
so
time,
happy
so
to
I'm
have you
thrilled to be a
here.
guest.
And Michelle, the first thing I always ask my guests is to tell a bit of your story. How did you get to where you are now? And why do you do the work you do?
Yes, so that's a great question. So I decided to get into this work with specifically helping people get to the root of their problems because I had been doing this work myself for years. And I never thought it was something that was so special because it kind of just happened naturally for me. But then as I began to grow in my life and age up a little more, I kind of have wanted to just started being I just kind of have wanted to become more aligned with helping people. The more I talk to people, I realize that so many people have problems that they don't even recognize where they stem from. And the more I see people trying to do this work, I feel like they're missing one key thing, which is the getting to the root of problems. And I feel that the successes I have had personally have been from getting to the root of what my issue is so that I can then fix it. And I'm just excited to now be able to help people. But as you know, when I started off, it sounded like a crazy idea in my head. But you have this gift of helping people see that's not a crazy idea, that's a God idea. And I'll never forget when you said to me, before I even started working with you, you said, Michelle, if God has certified you, if God has called you, then who are you to question that? And
Well, that's
yeah,
such a
so here
beautiful
I am.
story. And it was just an honor to be able to hear your ideas. Like, I felt honored that you trusted me enough to tell me your crazy ideas, in quotation marks, because I never think they're crazy. But
I know
well, what
you.
a beautiful story as well, because it's kind of like you fell into this work because of the experiences you had. And that
Yes.
is often the case for a lot of us entrepreneurs is we fall into the work we do because of the mission. We have had experiences and pain and things that we've worked through, and we see the solution so clearly. When the people we want to work with, it's like they
Hmm.
have these blinders on, and the work you get to do now allows them to be have their blinders removed, go back to the past, the with your RIP formula, which we'll get into, and become free. And that is why the work you do is so powerful, and I believe in it
Yes.
so much. So thank you for sharing a bit of that story. So when you
Yes. Definitely.
told me the other day that you love helping high achieving female entrepreneurs, how does that really play into
Hmm.
people pleasing? Like, what's the connection you see for entrepreneurs, and what really happens when they do get to the root of people pleasing?
So for a lot of high achieving entrepreneurs, they don't necessarily struggle with people pleasing, but they struggle with the offset of that, which is putting yourself last, if that makes sense. So they don't need mindset help, right? Like they're already successful, they have discipline, they have drive, they're pretty clear on their vision and who they are and who they want to be. But what starts to happen is as their business starts to grow and the success starts to grow, their personal life gets put on the back burner. And I don't mean their marriage and their kids. I mean the work that they do on themselves gets left behind. So now you have a business that's growing and succeeding, but internally you're not matching the success that you're having. So what often happens is overwhelm starts to set in, panic, anxiety, depression. And the women who have come to me are high achieving women, but they felt stuck because now, they've already hit the $1 million mark. That was nothing for them. They're trying to do the next big thing, but they're stuck. And I find a lot of times it's not always childhood issues, but it's a lot of issues from the past that seem so insignificant, but they start to catch up to you. They always eventually catch up to you. And then that's the area that's keeping them stuck and not able to propel their life in the way that they want to.
That makes so much sense. It like the quote that comes to mind is, what got you here isn't going to get you there. And yeah.
Yeah, right. And the Bible also says that God wants us to be in health, right? He wants us to prosper, but as our soul prospers. So your soul has to prosper in line with your financial prosperity, your relationship prosperity. And that's easy to put on the back burner because you have so many other things.
And then there's this sense of inauthenticity because they have this public display of who they are, but really internally they are struggling so much. And one of the things that we've talked about a lot is the repercussions of that. So I would love to know, what would you say is one of the top things that happens to women who don't go and find the root of people pleasing and anxiety and the things that is affecting them, the symptoms? What are the top repercussions there?
Unfortunately, your health suffers. There's a lot of sickness and disease that is connected to not working on yourself personally. There is depression and anxiety and overwhelm. And a lot of it, I believe, is because you look like you have it together, right? You're a $1 million business owner or you're a high achieving executive. Who are you going to tell that I feel like personally I'm dying inside, or I feel like I'm in overdrive? Like, who are you going to tell that to? So you just, keep on keeping on, right? Like our parents came from the generation of you just work and you grit and you just don't complain. And that kind of gets passed down to us a lot of times. And it's noble, but it doesn't work after a while.
Yeah. And that also makes me think of a conversation I had literally an hour ago with my sister, my sister Marie. And she was telling me, when we get in the mindset of being over capacity, then we can't fulfill the verse of a Proverbs 31 woman of working with willing hands. Then it's like we're fighting against the very thing we went into business for. When really, if we have a way to break free, like untangle the root of the thing that is holding us back, then it's like we have wings. And that's really what your workshop is about, right?
Yes.
More about that.
Yes. So my workshop, it is called Healing the People Pleaser in You, but the root work that we do, the source of people pleasing, in my opinion, is lack of worthiness, like not feeling worthy. And so we go in and we untangle that. Like, where did that come from? Because God declared you worthy, right? Not what you do, what you have, who you're around, who you know. So where did that become disconnected? And we get to that root and we reframe it with the truth. Because what happens oftentimes is we start working in our own strength. We start doing things on our own. Like success, it's not that it's easy, but it's manageable. We can start a business, grow it to $1 million. We can do that on our own. But what starts to happen is you need qualities and characteristics that need to push you to the next level, but you're paralyzed. So a lot of people-pleasing tendencies also are connected to roots of anxiety, roots of depression, and roots of overwhelm.
That makes so much sense. And I see that in so many women I talk to who have achieved massive amounts of success. You probably listened to the episode a couple weeks ago with Dr. Jen Bourgeois about the capacity. Yep. So what I love is that this is almost like a next step for people as they're listening to these episodes on the podcast, where they realize, wow, there is another way. Like you don't have to stay stuck. And that is what I
Hmm.
love about the work you do in your heart, Michelle, is that you have this heart to help people no matter what. Like you're overcoming the fears you
Yeah.
need to overcome with this workshop and all the things because you see how worth it is. And your heart's in the right place, and that will
Yes.
take you a million miles further than if you are stuck in those same
Thank
patterns. So yeah,
Yes. And I've watched the women that I've helped already, the massive successes they have had
yeah,
so quickly, because a lot of us get coaching, like we get business coaching, we get mindset coaching, we get trainers. What's
mm,
missing is the foundation, like you, right? Like you have to take care of you. And the minute you're able to figure out what's going on in here, then you can connect all the pieces, all the training that you've gotten, all the business training, it just connects. And that's what's been happening with the women that I've been working with. And it's so exciting to see. And I know it works. I know the rest in peace
mm,
framework, the RIP framework works. And that's
yeah.
what gives me the drive to just, I want everyone to know and I want everyone to experience this freedom that you can
Yes,
have.
and Michelle has told me about the RIP framework. We're going to actually be rehearsing something very special for it immediately after recording this interview. But what I would love to know, as we're kind of setting the stage for what this even is what are some of those client stories? Like you've mentioned it like two or three times, and I just see you lighting up. So I want to hear what is the top story from a woman who has gone through that framework that just you would want somebody to know the story of.
Yeah, so the top story that comes to mind is there was a woman that I helped. She's a very successful business owner, and she has another huge undertaking that she's going to be doing. But she said to me, and I'll use her words exactly, it feels like I'm watching my mansion be built, figuratively, but I'm in a house that's burning down and I don't know how to go access my mansion. Right. And so she's in, the top masterminds that you could think of, and coaching and even therapy. So we had a session where we did the RIP framework, and it was massive. And it went to the core of, why do you feel so overwhelmed, right? Where's this overwhelm coming from? Because she's beyond capable, right? She coaches lots of women, but so when you get to that overwhelm, it doesn't matter how successful you are. It doesn't matter all the projects you have lined up. If you feel stuck and you can't move, it doesn't matter. So we were able to do the rest in peace framework. Instantly, she got massive aha moments. We reframed things, and she booked $100,000 in clients in just a week or two. So it was amazing. It was like bigger than I thought it was going to
Great.
be for her. And it's
Yeah.
not just the money that she was able to book, it was the fact that she could figure out the path to, oh, this is what I need to do now. I have
Mm,
so much clarity now. These are the next steps. And oftentimes, the financial part we get, it's just confirmation of,
yeah.
okay, this was the right step, right? Like you launch a course, you get a bunch of people to
Mhm.
sign up, you're going to make a lot of money. It's not the money, it's that, oh, I'm on the right path. This is what people
Yeah.
need and this
Zig
is what
Ziglar
people
says
want.
you can have anything you want in life if you help enough other people get what they want. And you can think about it like,
Yeah,
oh,
so
I have certain things I want. I want $1 million. I want a lake home. I want all these things. But really, if you put the focus back on the person you're serving, the abundance will follow.
yes.
I think about this often in my business is
Mm-hmm.
what is God's economy for business? How does He direct the paths?
Yes.
And really, when you focus on serving and you have your heart in the right place, the abundance follows every single time. And that's why I'm so proud of you, Michelle, is you were following God's voice. Like literally, that's what you help women do now is listen to God, but you
Lit-
had to do that first. You had to come first as the guide and
yeah.
as almost like experimenting on this journey yourself. And now you're guiding women to do that too. So that is so beautiful.
Yes. And I'm so glad you talk about God's work, because that is something I help. if I have a business owner who is a Christian, we focus a lot on the work God puts you to do, and the kingdom work, like the kingdom business that he has called you to. And like you said, when you're on the right path and you are doing this for kingdom purposes, everything that you
Yeah.
need just becomes available, right? Like, and there's peace in that. There's peace in knowing who you are, and who you're supposed, and what you're supposed to do. And I think of Gideon, when the angel came to Gideon, it was actually God,
Mm.
and I just posted about this. God told Gideon, "Why are you hiding? You are a mighty man of valor." And Gideon's like, "No, I'm not." And he even had to test him on it. And the minute that Gideon accepted his identity as a mighty man of valor, that's the first time we see in scripture Jehovah Shalom shows up. So the peace that you are looking for comes from being on the right path and having the right identity that you are called to
Mm.
be.
Well, that hits for me. I know that for every woman listening, it's going to be exactly the message they needed to hear. Um, it just makes me think how we put our identities in what we do instead of whose we are. And
Yeah.
that is really what it's all about, is where are you placing your identity, and how are you showing up in your day-to-day life where it's in line, it's in alignment with that identity. So that's really
Yeah.
cool. And it also makes me think of another question I wanted to ask you. What is one myth or mistake that you see people making in your industry that you just want to clear up once and for all?
I'm so glad you asked. Um, for me, in my opinion, I think the biggest mistake and myth that is being taught is
Mm,
mindset work.
tell me more.
And it's very popular right now because it works for a lot of people, but it's not, it doesn't work for everyone because we don't see the whole story. So mindset work, for the person it's not working for, tells them, well, you're not doing the right things, you're not speaking the right things, you're not putting the right energy out there, therefore you don't have. So you need to speak better, think better, believe better, and then you'll have what you're supposed to have. When in reality, what God said you are worthy of does not require manifestation. It does not require affirmations. And the other problem with manifestation is that we are speaking things that we don't believe are true. We want them to be true, right? But they're not true. If they were true, everyone would manifest. Myron says this all the time. Myron Golden always says everyone would manifest and be a millionaire. So manifestation causes people to have shame and guilt if they have not gotten to the root of why they don't feel worthy in the first place. Getting to the root of why you don't feel worthy and fixing your sense of worthiness will cause you to naturally manifest. I am worthy. I am going to get this. God said, this is who I am, and now I am going to attract this. It's not something that we have to force ourselves, right? It's not putting lipstick on a pig and saying that, it's a beautiful pig. It's still a pig. So when you keep putting manifestations and affirmations on top of wounds, think of it like a root, a weed. You have a beautiful garden, and a weed comes up, and you take scissors and you cut it up. You cut it every time you see it. That's affirmations. That's manifestation. You're cutting the root. Why not go and pull that root up and just get rid of it? So that's when you get to the root of why you don't feel worthy. You don't need manifestations and affirmations anymore.
That is fascinating. And I think that that is not spoken about a lot, which is why I wanted to ask you that
No.
question. It's one of those almost polarizing topics that
Yeah.
will make maybe a
Yeah.
lot of people feel uncomfortable. But it has to be said. And if you
Yeah.
have a position that you really believe
Yep.
in strongly, it takes courage to say it, but it is worth it, because it is worth it to get to the root. And as you were talking about that
Yes.
feeling of worthiness, how that really is what matters, I could see that there's possibly a story there. Is there a story of how you got to that point yourself that
Lots of
could help
stories.
people? I
Lots of
kind of thought
stories.
so.
I'll share the most I'll share my most recent one. Well, my first one was when I was single.
Hmm.
I was just like textbook people pleaser, right? And then it started showing up in my relationships. And there's only so long you could keep saying, "Oh, that guy's a loser. He wasn't good enough for me." when you're the common denominator all the time. So I really went before the Lord and I'm like, God, what? And no lie, he didn't call me a people pleaser. He was nicer about it. He said, you're insecure and you're too needy, aka people pleaser. And yeah, well, that was a real big shock for me. And I feel like I almost tried to prove him wrong that I wasn't, but the more I tried to prove that I wasn't, and so I kind of went back to him. I'm like, okay, so how do I fix this? And the RIP framework that I teach is literally the steps that God walked me through 25 years ago. And then more recently, my brother had passed away. Unfortunately, he was young. He was 31. And I started getting massive panic attacks. And I couldn't understand what was happening. So I'm like, God, just please help me grieve. And instead of showing me the right way to grieve, he was like, let's work on you. I'm like, work on me? I didn't ask you for that. I asked you to help me grieve. And every time I would go to him and say, I'm grieving, he would say, let's work on you. And it sounds crazy and it doesn't even make sense. But the more I started working on myself, it's not that the grief went away. It's just the grief became manageable, right? I had to listen to the steps that I was supposed to take. And the panic attacks went away. Thank God they went away. I never had to go on medicine because I was ready to. And it's not that I didn't want to. And it's not that I think it's bad. I think a lot of times medicine is very, very helpful. I was just afraid it would silence what I was hearing from God. So I wanted to make sure that I followed what he was telling me first. So those are the two big stories that I can think of that have kind of led me down this path to where I am today.
Well, that makes a lot of sense. And as a follow-up question, how did that make you feel a sense of worthiness going through that process?
Oh, yeah, I didn't answer
That's
that
okay.
part. When you understand the lies that you have believed, see, what happens is, as a kid, you interpret information as a kid. So let's say your mom's too busy to help you because she had a stressful day and she's like, I just can't help you right now. I'm busy. I'm tired. As a kid, you could say, I shouldn't bother anybody. I shouldn't bother anybody because I'm a bother, right? That's not the truth. The truth is your mom's tired and she needs a break. The lie you tell yourself as a child is, I'm a bother, right? So imagine now you have that lie. That's subconscious. I'm a bother, I'm a bother, I'm a bother. So how worthy do you think you're going to feel if you think I'm a bother to people? So for me, when he got to I was bullied a lot as a child. I was a biracial child, and biracial children did not exist in New Jersey when I was a kid growing up. I think I met my first biracial person when I was like 14. So I felt like an oddball, right? And I was bullied a lot because of it. So my sense of worthiness was like shot. And the crazy thing is, it didn't matter that my parents loved me, right? That I had a loving home. It didn't matter because what the other kids thought of me is what mattered. So God went and helped me heal that lack of worthiness, and showed me the lie that I was carrying with myself, and spoke truth over it. And then when you reframe those lies and you speak truth, that's what sets you free, right? Then you can start to believe the scriptures when God says you were fearfully and wonderfully made. It's like, yeah, whatever. But when you know the truth and when the lies are removed, that's when you can start to receive truth. You can't receive truth until the lies are removed. So that kind of goes along with the manifesting. You are speaking truth. Yes, you are worthy of this, but there's still lies there that override the truth that you believe, the truth that you should believe.
Mhm. Oh my goodness, Michelle. I'm like literally getting shivers from listening to the story and then also knowing kind of what is in your webinar, like what is in the workshop
Yeah.
coming up. And this is why everyone listening, go click on that link. I'm going to put it in the description box and sign up, because what Michelle is talking here is her own experience with this framework. But in the workshop itself, you're going to actually be able to go through it and uncover some of the things that you are dealing with. Like, it's going to be personalized, and Michelle's going to be right there on Zoom guiding you through
Yeah.
it. So I cannot wait for August 6th for you to be able to do this. And tell me, what are you most excited about for people to hear in the workshop?
There's so many. I'm so excited for people to understand why they struggle with people pleasing because I think it brings shame.
Mm,
That's why people don't want to admit that they're a people pleaser. It
yeah.
feels shameful, but it's not your fault. You didn't cause it. So I'm excited for people to understand why.
Mm,
I am excited for them being able to hear from God. And even if you are not a Christian and you do not believe in God, you still are going to hear truth.
yeah, that's
Right? Truth shows up,
mhm.
period. So you're going to hear truth and you're going to get a personalized, tailor-made solution for
Yeah.
you. So I'm super excited about that, and I am excited that it will be in a calming
Mm,
space. I am beyond excited that you will be there to facilitate the mood,
great.
and I'm excited for the transformations that's going to take place.
I am as well. I am as well. It's going to be so good. And it's actually something that we worked on in our VIP day in New York City.
Yes,
So that was
yes.
just a delight. And on that topic, Michelle, I'm so curious. What was your experience with the VIP day to kind of pivot a little bit on our topics here?
Yeah, so the VIP day was very helpful because obviously I was nervous about it. But having you in person, it was like having a teacher guide you through the steps.
Mhm.
So like there's something about that in-person interaction that just calmed me down a lot.
Mm.
And you were like answering questions that I didn't even know I should have because you're so experienced in this. And it just felt like you kind of held my hand, which is what I needed. Like I have all the information, the experience, I know how to teach it, but then crafting it into a workshop is a totally different story.
Yeah.
So I think knowing that you're so good at what you do and you do it like with your eyes closed and then having you in front of me to help walk me through it, that was really priceless.
That is interesting because we had been working online for,
Yep.
what was it, 7 weeks before that. And then we had the
Yep.
in-person VIP day. And it's just interesting, like for me to know
Yeah.
the difference, because it can
Yeah.
really draw into the experience and make that even more. What I'm also curious about is how was it different than other coaching that you've done before, like even the online portion? What was
The online
different for it?
portion, what's different with your program, because I've been getting coached for a while. And I love the programs that I'm in. What's different with yours is it feels more tailor-made, if that makes
Mm,
sense. Um, you are able to pull out things like you can see things that are like brewing in our brain and you have this ability to pull them out. Um, and you guide us very well through the steps and the processes. Like there's nothing that you can't teach people right now. You perform on stage, you've performed for thousands, you've spoken in front of thousands, you've run numerous workshops, you write hundreds of emails, you have a podcast, you have a YouTube. What can't you help someone with? There's nothing. And you are very structured and organized so that there's a trust with coming to you. Like, Ina, I have this great idea. Can you help me with it? And you're like, yep, let's take it. Here's the action steps. This is how to do it. And I'm here alongside you to help you. So it's taken out the fear for me. And even just running this workshop and even starting this program that I have.
thank you. I am so honored
You're welcome. Thank
to
you.
have spoken courage into your ideas. I remember when we first talked about working together, I think it was January, and then we talked again a few months later. We were talking about how it's almost like the rocket fuel. Um, your idea is the rocket, you have the plans, you know what you want to build, you even know how to do it, but it's like we have this inability to take action on the things we know we need to do, even if it's a gut feeling, even if it's a message from God telling us, okay, this is what you've been put on this earth to do. And what just makes my day to hear from you is to know that I was able to give you the right rocket fuel to bring it to life.
Yes.
And I want all of my clients to know that I believe in you probably more than you believe in yourself at first. And then if I can transfer
100%
that belief,
facts.
that is what That is what really matters in the end of the day. So thank you. Thank you for saying that.
It's true. That idea would still be sitting in the month of January and nothing
Ah,
would be happening with it if it wasn't for
yes.
you.
And here you are. You literally have
Here
a
I am.
workshop that people can sign up for, something tangible.
Yes.
The idea was made tangible. That's exciting. And what about like inner shifts and just that feeling of who you've become? Like what how would you describe the before and after?
The before was, this feels silly to even think that I could call myself this, I could do this, I could help people.
Hmm.
That was January.
Hmm.
And about 2 months ago, there is no one that I can't help. Like, I mean it. Like, the president called me today. I can help you, dude. So that confidence came in just a few months, just from stepping into the identity. And I guess the shalom showed up when you started walking your identity. But I would have never even taken the steps to do it and think it was something that could be done if you hadn't have been like, yeah, let's do this. And I tried to curve to the left a little, and you kept bringing it up. Well, what about Michelle? But what about the thing you said? And I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not doing that. Well, what about that thing? Yeah, I'm not doing that. And then I was like, okay, that's what God wants me to do.
Well, it's very connected to the topic of this entire podcast, unlocking your genius zone. So, a
Yeah.
question that I always ask a guest, whether they've been a client or not, is how would you describe your genius zone, Michelle?
And this isn't going to sound haughty. It's just facts. Like, I hear from God.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's a wisdom that comes differently when you can hear from God. And so I'm able to use that and to help people.
Mm.
Like, when people are talking to me, I can understand what the problem is and how to help them fix it, and the source of it before they even start to tell me about their childhood.
Mm.
So that, I think, that's my zone of genius. But that's a gift, and it's not anything that I take credit for.
Yeah, yeah, that's the thing about our genius zone is it kind of needs to be unlocked, but it's something that's
Yeah.
already there. So it's something that was innately part of you, a gift that you've been given. And the goal of the last like 8, 9 weeks of working together was to unlock it. So I'm seeing that
Yes.
transformation in you. It's like a different version of Michelle is in front of me on the camera right now than what was in January. And
Yeah.
Michelle in January was the same person and you still had the same gifts. It's now been unlocked.
Yeah.
And I see a lightness in
Yeah.
you. It's like the light is coming from your face because you've done the work. You've
Yes.
taken the courageous steps. So that's beautiful.
Yes. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're so welcome. So, how can people find you? If they want to sign up for the workshop, if they have a question for you, if they want to work with you, what is the best way for people to find you, Michelle?
The best way would be on Instagram. I'm at Michelle Moragne-Morris. And I have the links to everything on my profile. And if you are not on Instagram, you can find me on my personal. It's my kid's name, AJ Blake Gray's mom.
Okay.
But it links back because there are a few people that are still not on Instagram. So AJ Blake Gray's mom. Yes, that's how they can find me. And then they can DM me if they have a question.
Okay.
And also, if anyone wants if they sign up for the coaching portion, I offer 5 sessions of coaching. Then you'll get like a 20-minute call first just to go over and to assess and see what help I could be.
Well, that's awesome. I'll make sure to put all of those links into the description box. I'll grab them from you when we're done chatting here. And what are you most excited about in business right now? That's what we'll end with here.
I feel free from the need to make a lot of money. And I know that sounds crazy, but I've had a business for 21 years and all you obsess about is making money.
Yeah.
And now that I'm on this path, and after years of God proving himself year after year, I am free in that aspect because he provides. When you're on the right path, he provides. And there's a freedom in that, I mean, finances can make you feel like you're in a chokehold. But when you are free to know that God will provide, because you're doing the right thing, you're on the right path. That's what I'm excited about in business. And again, I've been in business. I run a cleaning company. I have for 21 years, and it does really, really well. But there's always that chokehold of, am I going to get paid on time? Are they going to pay me? I have, payroll, workers' comp, insurance, all of that. So the freedom that I feel now is what I'm most excited about in business.
That makes so much sense. And that's how we all want to feel. We want the freedom of time and finances and all the things, but it's almost the freedom of our mindset. Well, to say mindset after you debunk that one.
Well, mindset,
But
no, mindset is important after the root work.
Exactly. So I'm going to rephrase that one. Actually, you've taught me something very important here. It's really the freedom of trust. That we can trust our ideas, we can trust God, we can trust provision, and we can trust that because we're doing the right thing, abundance will follow. And not because we want the abundance so badly, but because we want to do the right thing so badly and putting our identity in where we need to be. So, thank you for this last 35 minutes conversation, Michelle. Truly, I say this for every guest, but every time it's like, oh my goodness, this was just the highlight of my week. And it really was. So thank you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me on.
You are so welcome. We'll have to do something like this again. I always want to do follow-up episodes. See how you're doing and where people can find you next. So have a wonderful rest of your day. And
thank you.
Everyone listening, have a day filled with abundance.